Okay, so you know I'm back, and I don't even know if I should have to do the whole intro, but it's Butterfly to Light, and we here with Life Path number 5. That's right, I said it, 5. Life Path number 5s are like my babies. Like I like Life Path number 5s. I do. You know, they have enough variety to be different, to like bring in, you know, like different spurs of energies, and like, you know, like they're different enough to bring something different, like something different into your involvement with them. But then it's like they got this flair about them. But a lot of them, you don't readily notice the flair. They could look so simple, or they look so unflairish. They are some of the most, or the most dynamic number, period. Period. And y'all know I'm all about energy, right? Life Path number 5, because it's so interesting, because talking about these energies and these life paths, and just for people to be like, what? I'm not that, like, I don't see myself as that. Yeah, I know, because it's like there's a lot of things we don't see ourselves as until we actually see it, whatever that means. And Life Path number 5, like, you're no different, okay? Life Path number 5, there's no easy way to put this. You are here to be dynamic. The universe wants to use you as an instrument to where people is able to feel your energy and to understand what life is about beyond just normal everyday living. And it's so funny, because most times you find Life Path 5s living, you go and you meet them. If you don't already know one, go meet them. I dare you to go meet a Life Path number 5. They look so, like, their life looks so average a lot of the times. They just be hiding out as like one of these normal people, and they're not. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can mistake them. You can easily mistake Life Path number 5 for like a number 4, or maybe even a number 6. Okay. See, because it's not always so easy. Life Path number 5, I'm talking to you now. It's not always so easy for you guys to accept the changes that comes about in your life. It's not. As a matter of fact, it can be very hard for Life Path number 5s to let go of life experiences. You know, like, you can look and you can see, well, there's a better way, or I kind of feel like it's being called. Like, you can be called to action. Like, you could be called towards another direction in your life and still feel like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, you know, because so much of your being and your identity is not really that independent. Think about it. A lot of Life Paths number 5s, like, a lot of y'all need support, or you love support. You know, a lot of y'all feel like, and this is the great thing about you guys, like, this is the most beautiful thing about Life Path number 5s. Like, I'm not lying. Like, if I had to pick a number to have a crush on, it would be Life Path number 5. Like, for real. It just would. How am I flirting with a number? Like, I'm flirting with a number. But anyways, no, the reason why I say is because, like, a lot of you guys, yeah, so, but think about it. Life Path number 5s, like, maybe y'all can, you know, understand where I'm coming from when I'm saying this. A lot of Life Path number 5s feels like they need support. And as a matter of fact, if they don't have support from others, it could make them question who they are, their identity, and what they're doing. Because what they're doing could be pretty dynamic, right? So that's the best thing about life path number fives, because of the fact that they look for support in others. They look for support from others. And like I said, one of the leading things to look for in success, or when it comes to success, is being able to support others, being able to have others support you. Yes, your ability to support others. But my thing is, what I want you guys to understand is that from, the place of a number five, I feel like you have that support already. Like, you have to consciously get yourself to a point to where just being you and just stepping out on faith and doing what you need to do or you want to do, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. I don't see why not. You have to trust in that. The reason why I say that is because like I said, either way, I feel like you realize either way, you're going to be supported. Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty about number fives, like life path number fives. So they're not as independent as they would like, as people would like to think. They're not. And they're not that unemotional as they like to display. Like, as a matter of fact, life path number fives, while some of them, you have a good amount of them that runs from emotions. They do. And they like to, they may experience deep emotions. Although they may experience deep emotions, they could possibly detach themselves from it. So it's not that they don't experience it. It's like they can detach themselves from it. And the reason why they do that, or they're supposed to do that, because I'm going to be honest, not all of them do that, is so that they don't have anything come in between them and their independence. You see? So there is a certain level of independence that number fives are supposed to have with them. Because when you think about independence, you think about someone that doesn't really need to identify themselves and who they are on the basis of other people. Okay. So in a relationship, hey, number fives, you can maintain your identity, but at the same time, the person you're in relationship with, they can maintain theirs, and you can come together for an interdependent relationship. Although, like I said, a lot of fives could want to operate in like a more singular fashion with who they're involved with. Like, oh, we have this in common. We can join together and be one. Okay? Versus I'm me, you, and that's how we're going to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with that at all. But what I'm saying is that if that then gets in the way of who you're supposed to show up as in the world, like what you're supposed to do on your path, you have to then be able to detach from that. And this is where the detached nature comes in. Now, the good thing about a life path number five too is like they're fighters. They experience a lot. And I really do feel like the universe gets them to experience these different things to get them in this fashion, this more detached nature or independent nature. And depending on, because everything's a learning lesson. So depending on how they readily accept the interceptions of the universe, some of them may end up acting out on more negative aspects of the number five versus the positive at first, but they end up getting it, And the reason why I say negative is because they can go into extreme independence, trying to find that balance. Then go in their number five. It's hard to be balanced. We're not talking about 2. We're not talking about 4. We're not talking about 6. This is why they're good with number 1, Finding that balance. They go into extreme independence before they're able to say, boom, you know what? I found this balance. I got this balance. We're here. I made it. And this can cause them to be extremely detached, unemotional, or starting to act out of their emotions in harmful ways, toxic ways, causing them to go back and forth. Oh, what am I supposed to do? and being impulsive instead of taking some steps back. Number fives can be impulsive. Like number fives can be like the ones that, hey, I'm gonna jump on this idea. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna move. Like I know I'm just gonna go do it. I'm just gonna put all of myself in. That's another thing that makes them dynamic, because they're willing to jump all in for something that they believe in, but without the patience to develop it, or having somebody that can help you see it through, help you see whatever you're starting through. It's a process of starting something, stopping, starting something, stopping. You know, if you're not seeing the immediate the immediate response or feedback that you want to see. So how do you level that out? You know, because I deal with energy a lot of times in real practical ways. You know, how do you level that out? I feel like that is why each number five has something that they are destined to do, or some dynamic approach. Like they could bring it doesn't matter. Like I told you guys, you know, when I talk about manifesting, like people say a lot of things, you know, when it comes to manifesting. Oh, manifest the world and blah 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 blah, because we do got the power to do it. But I'm gonna tell you something. We each come in here with a plan. So it's all about the way that a predestined plan a lot of times. But we get to operate inside of that plan, you know, making little choices here and there. But that's what I'm saying with number fives. It's like each number five, no matter how large or how small you feel like the role is you play along your path, is still important. Even if you tried and you failed. Like one day you can like show your children or your grandchildren, like, dang, you know what, look at what grandpa did, look at what your father did, look at what your mother did, look at what your grandmother did, or whatever, like, and pass the torch along to them, you know, like it. Really think about it. That's dynamicism. Y'all know what it works. That's what's dynamic about number five. So what I feel like, what balances out number fives need to be impulsive, start and stop, is you have to find that main thing that you're passionate about. You have to find it. And when you find it, it doesn't matter what variation you change or you switch into, the still main overall goal is there. You know, I kind of feel like a vision, maybe I should call it a vision, like having that vision, the ultimate vision. It doesn't matter what different things you try to get there, you still get there. Because why do people feel like they're failures? They feel like they're failures when they try something. They got a vision, they try it, and they're not able to succeed. Right? Well, if you have a vision, but you have multiple ways to get to that vision, how do you really fail? Even if the torch has to be passed and it continued down the line, how do you really fail? So yes, finding that thing, like that overall thing that you feel like you want to live for, and you can dive into that. That keeps you from, like, especially like if you're someone that's kind of distracted easy, and you want to, and you have to deal with your emotions. Like, don't run from them. Sit in them a lot of times, because like I said, if you have that thing that you're passionate about, it keeps you from saying, okay, well, I can go from this person to that person. I have to be all over the place. You know, it keeps your energy occupied, is what I'm saying. Because yes, number fives could be like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do that. It could take them a while to like decide certain things, because of the fact that they're just like, I'm going to lose my independence. You know, ultimately. Even though a lot of number fives that no, they don't necessarily operate independently. You find a lot of people, like for instance, they could want to be independent, but it's something about their energy that draws in people that are dependable, like that needs their help or something about them, you know? So they could be like, well, I want to be independent and I want to be this and I want to be that. But then it's like, these people, they make it hard for me to do this. Now, and like I said, a lot of fives are learning to become more independent. They don't have it down packed. But like I said, too, I feel like the independent aspect to themselves really comes in handy when they don't allow other people the right to infringe on what they're becoming and what they're being, like what their life path is opening up for them. If they're, as long as they're allowing people to infringe on that, they're not really claiming their independence on a level that they're supposed to, you know. So they can have all the people, they can have all the support or whatever. It's just understanding that you don't need the support first. You don't need the okay first to say, oh, okay, yeah, you can do this, you can do that. You have to say, oh, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is the direction I'm going. Yes, be open for input and feedback, but don't let that stop you. Like I said, it could just seem like there's always something intercepting what you're trying to do. And people don't understand that, you know. They think, oh, here you go trying to do something else. And you said you were going to be doing this. Now you're doing that. And you're just like, but I can't help what life brings. It's very like an unpredictable path. This is why number fives try to hold on to things so tightly. Because, or listen, why they try to hold on to things so tightly or let go of things easy. Okay. And it depends on which side you fall on, to be honest with you. And the reason why I say let go of things so easy is it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to form a deep attachment to this thing or this any one thing because it can be taken away. Or I don't really want to let this go because I don't know what else is coming. Either way, it's like a freaking teeter-totter. There's like always something imposing, something coming, like that's unpredictable. Even if everything is fine, it's like fives, you're like always anticipating, like, what is the next thing? What is the next thing that's going to come? What is the next thing that's going to come? And you're constantly in protection mode. However, number fives, when you can truly embrace yourself and you can say no and stand up to all those things that goes against your independent nature or that goes against what you represent in this life. And you can tell those people, it doesn't really matter how much money you're giving me or offering me. It doesn't really matter what you think. It doesn't really matter because you don't know who I am and what I'm here to do and my potential to get there. Okay. And by the way, the energy of number five is extremely attractive. So you're always going to pull in what you need. But you have to be willing to trust the path. And the good thing about the number fives, though, the number fives, like, y'all have the ability to trust the path and then get rid of the path. Like, trust what's coming in on your path and then get rid of what's coming in on your path. If you know, okay, it's outdated. I gotta move. That's another thing about the number fives. Number fives, they don't really have to worry about their identity as far as being like, you guys are gonna always stay up. You're gonna always, like, you're gonna have your independent identity. Like, you're not gonna approach a scene like everybody else. You're gonna have your own, even if you do, you're gonna have your own significant touch to it. You're gonna add your own significant touch. You're going to have your own approach. And then you keep up, like, you're modern. You're able to keep up, you know, with your own style. You're able to keep up with and compete with anybody at any given time, you know. So number fives at times can feel like they have a burden to bear, because you do. even when you're living your journey with someone else, with other people, you still have like this burden on your shoulders to bear, to where you have to do something. You have to do something. And if anything is getting in the way of that on your path, it will be removed. That's kind of harsh. So it's not easy being a number 5, but it can be very rewarding, because it doesn't matter what you do. You have the ability, listen, no matter what you face, no matter what you lose, no matter what, you have the ability to come back again. To come back, be better, be stronger, be wiser, whatever. And you're going to attract. It's like a magnetism type thing with your energy. Like, you're always constantly drawing stuff in. You can take your pick of things, you know, like and it's weird because a lot of number 5s, I don't think people talk about this a lot, but a lot of number 5, like I told you, you have like your own independent identity, but it's like, it could be kind of quirky a little bit, kind of like, it's not something you're doing on purpose. You can pick like mates. That's kind of not the usual. You don't really have a taste for the usual. You have a taste for a little bit of the unusual, little bit of the untraditional. Like, you have your tradition and traditional aspects of yourself, but it doesn't have to be like in a very traditional approach, you know, because you're able to update yourself, like I said, you know, so you have like weird interactions with people, and you'll be drawn to people that's kind of like otherworldly, or just like something about them that you're just like, I can't really figure it out. Like, what is going on here? You know. So everything becomes, if you can look at life on your path, and I feel like this is the hardest number besides 7, and I'm going to get to that. If you can look at your life as like a path of you become Dora the Explorer. Child, I done took it all the way back. I'm gonna need y'all to come out with something new, so I don't have to be referencing Dora. If you can become Dora the Explorer, and what's that do, Diego? Because for the males, the men, they be like, hey, we here too, you know. On your life journey, like, if you could just become them on this journey, and you always got your backpack, like, you always got your backpack, and you got that map, you know, and you got your supporters, like your sidekicks, you got boots, however you want to put it. I don't know the little sidekick Diego has, but my point is, if you can approach life like that without being afraid, like working through the fear, everybody has a limit, their fears, but if you approach life like that, it's like everything, because it's gonna happen to you anyways. Your spouses, people you're in a relationship with, it's gonna be like, dang, I'm always learning something new about you. How did I not know this? Okay, if you can approach it like that, but still having a little bit of your caution, because that's where a lot of you guys jump into your problems, because you're like, I'm just so sure about this, let's do it. You have to be willing to work out the background details, or the little details that is floating around that maybe it's easier to overlook than to face. I don't know how you want to put it. It's like getting active, like forming a relationship with what you're doing, you know, but it has to be a balance. Remember, y'all get thrown out of balance. So you can put a lot of time and energy into one thing and neglect other things. You know, like, you have to be consciously aware of where you're putting your energy. That way you won't miss anything, because people count on your loss through what you're not paying attention to. Oh, he's not even paying attention to this. You know, can just sneak in and just take it. You know, swiper. Oh my God, I got the whole dork swiper. Just come swipe. Let me stop. Okay, this has been Life Path number 5. I'm Butterfly to Lights, and as always,